Well, first of all, welcome everyone. Super exciting as a football program. It's been 7 months of hard work, assembling a staff. We've added over, 43 players to our roster. So just the influx of roster. Our kids have been working really hard, both off-season, training. We've been in camp and super excited where we're at right now. It's been a lot of hard work. Again, mostly by our players, our coaches, and our staff. And so excited for this first game. We know it's going to be a tough game against Sacramento State. Really good football program. Ranked right now, preseason, number 10 in the country. So we recognize this is a really good team, beating some Division I teams. Last year beat Stanford. Got a lot of returning players. Coach Thompson, in his first year, was able to take his team to the playoffs, which is really hard to do. And so I got a ton of respect for him and the work that he's done there. And they return a lot of guys. And so we recognize this is a really good football team with a lot of returning guys, especially the quarterback. Caden Bennett's a really good player, hard to tackle, elusive. Got really good players up front. Their guard is an NFL player. And so we know we got our work cut out for us, but we're excited. We're excited as a football program, and I know our kids are tired of hitting each other and looking forward to this game.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, personally for yourself, with the decades of experience, what are the emotions, butterflies, nerves, if there's any at all? How do you feel?
Well, it's been interesting because like you said, I've been doing this for so long. It's my 16th year as a head coach. Been coaching for 35 years. But I did things one way or a certain way for so long. And so having to adjust how we do things. We're in San Jose, school's in afternoons, we have morning practices, adjusting to Coach Odom's, how he likes to prepare the defense, Coach Stutzman, how he wants to prepare the offense. So it's just those types of things, just things I've been I don't know if set in my ways is the right answer, but I've done things a certain way for so long and just trying to be open to how other people do things. Really, it's not about me. It's about our players, about our coaches, just to make sure that we're ready. And that's been our primary focus, just to make sure that you're ready. I don't know how to do anything else. I don't know if I could do another job, but this is what I've done. This is the only thing that I know how to do is coach and the lead. And so these kinds of things, I don't know if natural is the right word, but I feel comfortable in doing this. I wouldn't say I'm nervous, anxious. We're all anxious. We're excited to see what we have, but you always have butterflies. I really believe in this profession, if you stop getting butterflies, you need to get out, because it's what drives you. It's what gets you up in the morning. It's what keeps you up at night. Are we doing this? Are we doing that? Have we done enough of this? Have we done enough of that? There's so many things that continue running your mind. I mean, your mind never stops of all the things that you have to do to get ready. So I try to be as organized as possible with our staff, with our coordinators, with Garrett, our chief of staff, and Klesse, our director of football, just to make sure some of the off-the-field stuff as smooth as possible, so you can take away some of those variables, so in the preparation stuff you can get ready to go, because there's so many variables in this game. Like we were talking about as an offensive staff and, the entire staff, watching the games this past week, you're always trying to get ready for the unknown, and you watch all those games, you can't prepare for everything. You're going to try your best to get ready, but it's hard. It's hard to get ready for everything, but I guess that was a long answer to your question. I'm excited. I'm not nervous. I've done this a long time. But I'm excited to see the 2024 San Jose State Spartan football team. Our young men have worked really, really hard, and I'm excited to see them play this Thursday.
Coach, Christian here. What has been your message to the players this week to get them ready for the first game week of this season?
It's always just been focused on our preparation. Just focus on our preparation. That's all we've talked about. It's, probably the greatest to ever coach, is Coach Saban. He's always talked about the process, just focus on the process. And I think in a lot of ways I'm kind of like that, but I always like to do both. I always like to have a goal, not that you're always focused on the goal, not that you're always result-oriented, but this game is result-oriented. You got to win. So I've kind of, looked at what our first game is, where the season is, but then you focus on this. And every now and then, obviously, you got to focus on who the opponent is during the course of the lead-up, spring ball, summer workouts, fall camp, just all those things. You're focused on yourself. But I've liked our preparation, and we'll see what happens.
For the defensive side of the ball, your defensive unit, where are you most excited to see them perform this Thursday?
Well, just watching our spring and during spring practice and in fall camp, just been really impressed with what Coach Odom's done with our defense. I mean, our guys are flying to the football. I love the effort that they're playing with, led by Swanee. Toya, our leader up front. Nella has done a really good job. Our two inside linebackers, we feel like we have a pretty good depth at our inside linebacker with, Jordan Pollard and Jordan Cobbs, and they've been backed up by guys by Noah, Dylan. We added Nas, came from BYU. So I like that group. Our secondary guys coming back, we added Rocket. He came from Liberty. That kid's a machine. He's been one of the hardest workers on our team since he got here as a transfer. Our two corner, Michael Dansby's done a really good job, had a really good camp, and DJ Harvey. And so we feel like we have guys that have played that are going to help us. Rivas is going to be a new safety back there, but I like who he is, like what he does. Dylan Hampstead is going to be a first-year starter, but I love the way that kid works. And so we're excited about that, and we have some depth there. We may not be the biggest defense in the country, but I love the way we play. Our outside linebackers, like I said, with Nella, has done a really good job, and Ethan Powell. And so I like who we have. I like the way we're practicing. I like how they've bought into what Coach Odom's done. And it's just time to turn those kids loose. And like I said, we meet here every morning. We've had all of these position meetings, all the walkthroughs, all the practices. Those kids are ready to get on the field. And I've loved to see what they've done in and day out. They come to work every day. And so that's the thing I'm most excited about, just to let them unleash all the hard work and preparation and see what it turns out to be.
Hi, Coach. Andrew. Nice to meet you.
Andrew.
When you first got hired, you said, what I'm here to do is build a family. And every family, there are leaders amongst that. Have you seen any leaders stick out or that hopefully you can build with going into the future? Most
definitely. And you, in order to have, and I've always said this, there can be good teams that can be coach-led, and you can have good teams, but to have an elite team, you have to be player-led. And some of the guys that have stepped out, we developed a leadership council, and I thought those guys did a really good job. They were in there with really just the players, Garrett, Klesi, and Becca. None of the coaches in there because I didn't want to be in there. I wanted those guys to let them hear their own voice, let them lead the group amongst themselves, amongst peers. And some of the things that have come out of those meetings have been, eye-opening for me, and just been very pleasantly, not surprised the word, but just pleased with some of the things that have come out of those meetings. But it's the guys that you would think, on defense. Obviously, it's Swanee and Nella, Jordan Cobbs, Michael Dansby, Jaws. Jalen is one of our leaders. On offense, it's been Nick Nash and Maris that have been probably the biggest voices. But other guys, we had our quarterbacks that were fighting for a starting job with Emmett and Walker. Those guys have done a nice job. Sebastian at wide receiver. So I've been impressed with the amount of guys that we have on our team with leadership skills, but it's important that it's led by them. And have tried to create an avenue for them that they would have a voice that was unfiltered, that wasn't, monopolized by me as a head coach. Just allow them to kind of set some parameters, and I've just been impressed with what they've done in this offseason.
Good afternoon, Coach. I was wondering if you could talk about the home field advantage that you guys had at Navy and what you're expecting for your first game turnout-wise on Thursday. And on top of that, what does it mean for like the players to kind of see the local community support them?
Well, we're excited. We're hopeful that we get great support at home, which we're expecting. You know, we're excited, you know, to get our community out, you know, alumni of the university, people in San Jose, people in the Bay Area. You know, so we're excited about trying to create a product that people want to come and watch, that we're an exciting football team, and that's the hope. And, you know, I'm hopeful that their first game is packed to capacity. But if it's not, or kind of where we're at, I'm hopeful that they'll see the product and come like, wow, is this the team, the San Jose State team? And hopefully that will just continue to grow. The excitement will continue to grow. But in this game, you have to win. And people want to see successful things. And so we're excited about the product we're going to put on this Thursday. And we're hopeful after that the support will continue to go. But I'm expecting a big crowd, expecting a lively crowd, a lot of students there, a lot of alumni, and we're hoping for a great evening.
Coach, is the game prep a little bit different week one? I know you've been around the game for a long time, but is it different compared to other weeks, maybe towards the middle of the season, especially with all the moving parts now within college football and the transfer portal? Is week one a little bit different?
I don't know if week one's different. I think in this summer was way different, especially after spring ball, because normally, you know, you sign guys in February and you have all of that time to get them into school, admissions, compliance, just all those things. But we had the portal opening after spring practice, and we were a new team. And so we were able to go through spring practice and then be able to assess, okay, what do we need? What do we need to acquire? Where are our weaknesses? Where are our strengths? And we felt defensively that, you know, because we had a staff that our Coach Oldham had been here and he kind of knew what he wanted. Coach Stutzman just got here. And so we just were able to sit down, okay, we need to go get this, we need to go get that. And so it was different that way, just we were able to try to assemble a team late. And so that was different. And then late trying to get kids into school, you know what I mean, just the stuff in the summertime, trying to get kids into school, I think that's different. But the preparation stuff, preparing, I mean, it's always the same. And over the years, I've played on, you know, Thursday nights before, I've played on Friday nights, played on Saturday nights. So you just kind of adjust the days. It's kind of weird because we just treat Thursday like it's a Saturday, and then you just work backwards. And it's that's kind of what we've always done. But the first week of preparation hasn't been different. I just think leading up to that, all the other stuff prior to that was way different. The portal, the NIL, that was this year. I think all of us, I think every team in Division I football were going through new hurdles and new obstacles that they've never faced before.
Coach, you mentioned Dylan Hampson as a first-year starter. What did he do to get to that spot, and what do you expect him succeeding this year?
Well, he earned it, first and foremost. It wasn't a handout. It wasn't anything. The kid just works. You know, I just love who he is. Every day he just grinds. One of the hardest workers on the team. I think he came here kind of with the chip on his shoulder, you know what I mean? Maybe a under-recruited kid, wasn't on scholarship, you know what I mean? But a kid that just came and worked. And I've just been impressed with him ever since I got it. I think as a new head coach coming in, the great thing for me was everything was unbiased, because I was just able to judge people how they worked and what they did, and by their fruits, just how they worked. It wasn't anything that I read about somebody or any preconceived notion of their background, because I didn't know any of the kids. So you just kind of went out to practice and watched them work, and Dylan stood out. And you know, obviously Coach Al, who just got here, he was able to do the same thing and kind of assess who people were. I mean, everybody knew who Swanton was. I mean, he's an all-conference player, but he earned it just by his work. He's a relentless worker. And if our team plays like him and plays with the effort level that he has, we're going to have a really good year. I love the way that kid works.
Coach, it's no secret that there's a quarterback battle going on and whatnot. Do you think there's an in-play starter, there's playing time that's already been talked about going on there? Is there anything that you've done?
Yeah, Yeah, I got something to tell. We know who it is. I'm just not going to tell you guys. I just, yeah, so, we've already talked with them. And so, but it wasn't something we made a long time ago. We've been, literally, it's been going every day. And just recently, we made the decision of, where we want to go with that. Coach Stutz, has talked to them. But it was literally that close in the battle. One day, one guy would be up. One day, another guy would be up. One guy in a drill would, overtake the other guy. So as we'd watch film every day, it was tough because it was going back and forth. But eventually, towards the end, one of them started to rise above the other one. And I don't want to say it was clear cut, but he rose above the others, and we're going to go with him. But we also recognize in football, I mean, there's a lot of guys that play. Unfortunately, quarterbacks, there's, hopefully nobody gets hurt. But we recognize that you have to have more than one guy ready to play at all times.
Just to follow up on that, what day did you make that decision?
I'm not really sure. It just discussions that I don't know if it was last week or what, it just might have been earlier, this week or over the weekend. But, Coach Stutz and we talk a lot, and so, our wives are probably wondering who we're texting at night, or whatever, just, but we're constantly just, talking about certain things. And I can't remember really when it happened, but it was pretty recent. It wasn't at the beginning of the camp, and we've been sitting on this for weeks. It materialized recently.
Coach, 7-8 years ago, when Coach Brennan was here, and that definitely felt like a rebuild. But after watching and just being around practice and everything, it doesn't completely feel like a rebuild versus like maybe a retool. I know you talk about every year being, that attrition and getting used to that. Can you describe what it feels like?
Yeah, I've always approached it this way. Even now, the years, every team is different. So I've always felt like every year is a rebuild because you start from scratch. You tear everything down. And I feel like that's kind of how you have to do things, to set your expectations, set your culture, set how you do things. And I've just been excited to see some of the things that guys are, they're grasping and they're understanding. Maybe early on we were doing things and you could tell, why are we doing that? What does that mean? Why do we have to do this? Why do I have to wear that? Why do I have to stand this way? And I can see that guys are starting to buy in. But I think every year it is, you're building a new team, or building a new culture. And it was even more so, kind of to your questions, a little bit more, it was a little different this year because you had so many new guys coming in. So there are things that when we first got here in the spring that we were trying to establish, and then we had to reteach it again. Because then you guys had guys that come at the end of the summer. You had some guys that came at the beginning of camp. You had some guys that came at the middle of camp. It was really a weird, we had these waves of players coming in, and then you're adjusting, teaching them, okay, this is the way we're going to do things here. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's, your perception, great perception from the outside looking in. But from the inside looking out, I just always try to build our team from the inside out with some expectations, some core principles, and just govern that way. I really believe this, and I always knew this as a player. Kids can see right through you, and they can see right through phoniness and, things that are superficial. And so just in the leadership style, I mean, I wasn't trying to be Coach Brennan or be anybody else. I'm just me. Not that Coach Brennan is a bad coach. Coach Brennan is a great coach. But I can't be him. It's just like when I took over for Navy from Coach Paul Johnson, who was a legend there at Navy, I had to be me. And so just, because it's the only way you can do things. And when you try to be somebody else, kids see it. And so just, so that's kind of how we've tried to build things and build this team. And hopefully the retooling, we'll see really quickly how this, in a couple of days, kind of how everything manifests itself.
A couple more questions for Coach.
Coach, one of the many changes going into this season is the in-helmet communication you're going to have with the quarterback. Is Are you excited for that? Have you guys incorporated that within fall camp, and have you guys been able to utilize that technology? And how are you going to adapt to those changes? Because I know it's probably a little bit of a different change. And are you guys going to still have all the funny stuff and on the sidelines, all the emojis?
It's definitely been. No, we've been definitely working on it. It's definitely going to be a great benefit. And so we use it every day, trying to see how we can kind of get more efficient at it, more effective at it. And we've been trying our best to trying to hold in that system, try to get our protocol down, exactly how we're going to do it. Obviously, eventually the communication cuts off. And so it's something that we're going to utilize to its fullest, but we want to be prudent and wise as we use it too.
Coach, again about the attendance. Fans of San Jose State, students and the San Jose community, if there's a message that you have for them to come out and support the team, what would that message be?
Come out. It's going to be fun. I think they're really going to enjoy this brand of football in this team. And so, would love for all, the fans to come out, people of San Jose, our students, our alumni to come see. But I think they're going to really excite our football team. I love what Coach Odom does on defense. Exciting brand of defense, what he's done over the years. He's been an amazing coach. And I've been super excited with what we've done on offense with, Coach Stutzman's offense. We were really good on special teams last year here, and Coach Pausek here has continued on with some of those things. So it's going to be an exciting brand, tough, hard-nosed football, and we're expecting to win a ton of football games here.
Final question?
There were a lot of familiar faces last year. 2 players were the all-time highest played games in San Jose State history on the roster last year. Brent, a familiar face. How do you get back, starting here with week 1, to getting to a feeling that where the fans, the community, recognize all those faces that are in the program?
I don't know. I don't think you can force feed. It's like, I guess it's similar to your question. Just hopefully come and see the product and see what we have. You just got to come and see. We can have all the media blitzes and stuff that you want and come and we're no good, nobody's going to come back. So the goal has been to try to create the best football program as possible. And then they come out like, wow, this is a really good football team. And then let the things fall where they may. Again, I just feel like it's going to be a byproduct of the type of football that we put on the field. We have an amazing schedule. It's a really, really good football schedule. And, we're playing really good teams. And with the product that we put on the field on our side of it, because we can't control the other side, I'm excited about our team that we're going to put on the field. And there's no doubt in my mind if people come and watch it, they're going to be happy with the results and for coming to the games and supporting San Jose State.